of um, the security forces and the electoral umpire.
Do you know what? what I don't understand is this. Are we, when we talk about credibility and material impact, right, I'm talking about the credibility of the numbers that will be transmitted to INEC. As far as I'm concerned, there is nothing.
The numbers from the collation
Yes,
centers.
because it's supposed to move from the polling booths, right, to the wards, and from the wards to the local government, from the local government to the states. What I also want to understand is this. From the polling booths, right, to the state, don't we have agents? I want to believe we have agents. So in terms of the numbers, 100, 1,000, 50, my feeling is that the numbers have credibility. But where the confusion is the INEC or that umpire. And I will still go back to their time management, right? It was because INEC didn't get there in time, people started becoming uncomfortable, right? Because they started becoming uncomfortable, then they started suspecting, right? That's one, the time. Then in terms of the materials, right, like the ballot papers, many polling booths didn't have the complete ballot papers. I can tell you, when I spoke to some people in Kaduna, there were people who told me that they went to the polling booths, they only had the ballot papers for the presidential election. There were no ballot papers for the senators and the House of Rep members. It was after those suspicions that people started punching the credibility and the integrity of what INEC will eventually come out with. So we need to clarify these things. People complaining today, as far as I'm concerned, has nothing to do with the integrity of the numbers or the values that will be churned out. But because INEC, right, didn't have enough materials, because because some people didn't know that they needed to remove that lining, right, on the card reader, right? People, I mean, so many of the electors felt they were not going to be given the opportunity to vote. Those were the things that, or those activities or indices were the things that brought about people distrusting the whole exercise.
I don't think that is actually. I don't think people are distrusting the exercise. I don't.
The situation room.
I don't think so.
And with what was said to us earlier before Mr. John Kufuor.
You see,
in that case, that's a definite. As the conspiracy that's been alluded to that should be avoided.
No, I'm sorry.
No,
you guys cannot misrepresent what they wrote.
No,
What they wrote, the statement is here, is that they're trying to call people's attention to something that is potentially a problem. That is what they said. I don't think they questioned the credibility of the process. That's not what I got from this statement. What I got was them saying, to use a Nigeria parlance, people shine your eyes.
Maybe I should. Maybe
it went beyond that.
Collation
process. For the purpose of clarity, okay. Let me just read that part of the statement again. The Situation Room has received disturbing reports that politicians using various arms of the national security apparatus are attempting to fiddle with the collation process and pass off results.
That's a direct.
That's great.
That undermine the credibility of the elections, okay, etc., etc. So let's not miss out on the small print.
Collation.
Has received disturbing reports that politicians using various arms of the are attempting. I mean, attempting. An attempt is not an attempt does not mean it's done already.
But it's
an
a
attempt.
crime.
More like
A crime.
attempted
robbery, attempted burglary, attempted rape, attempted. It's as bad as the thing itself if it succeeds.
The fact that you even conceive it is bad enough. Even the conception is bad enough.
She is saying, and they are saying.
Let's say they are saying.
They have enough evidence to make them concerned enough to alert Nigerians to the possibility that this may be taking place.
It goes beyond the possibility. She says that they were trying to,
like what?
She gave the example of Imo. She gave the example of Bauchi. Yeah. And when we asked her beyond that, she said she can't verify the rest, and therefore she's not willing to list them.
But for that which she could verify, she said it was happening, that they
yes,
had reports
that the up until the time that in Imo, for example, she said as of the time she was talking to us, it is clear that journalists are not being allowed to enter the coalition center.
What about why would you agents?
Not? Why would it doesn't really matter, because the thing is by law, because by law journalists are allowed to observe this process. So why would you deny them access?
Enter,
yes.
What if we had all the party agents?
So
would that invalidate the?
No. What it does mean is you have to ask, why are journalists being denied entry? It's a valid question. Because journalists are supposed to be the eyes and the ears of the public.
Well, the REC is the one to answer that.
Exactly. So when somebody says to you they have evidence this is going on, you can't just dismiss it.
Well, we need more information before any... we need more information on those particular...
But and that is, now that they've alerted you, your job as journalists is to go and investigate more and find out more. They're not journalists. They are getting reports where they're sitting from. And they're saying we are concerned enough to tell you that this is what we think is going on. We now have to go out and find out what those details are and to see whether this is correct. But I don't see anything wrong with alerting Nigerians to the possibility of
Neither do I.
You keep talking about you keep talking about party agents. I mean, could you actually expatiate on their role here, their importance and their significance, and probably the influence they can exert on the whole process?
Well, none of them will be able to exert an influence over the other. This is what we need to understand. But as far as I'm concerned, my understanding is this. From the polling booths, right, party agents will be there to sign off. Am I correct?
But you're talking as if this is a country where we haven't had elections rigged before.
No,
but we know they have been rigged before.
I mean, the presence of party agents
have been blocked.
Has the presence of party agents ever stopped anything from happening? I mean, I have covered elections in the past elsewhere. Well, unfortunately, I'm not in the field this time around, but I've also seen situations where, sometimes one party has more agents than the other. Perhaps the ruling party, in whatever situation, might have 15 party agents. The opposition party might have 2 or 3 agents. Some parties sometimes don't have agents at all, or may have a solitary agent. And in cases like that, or in situations like that, you actually have the majority carrying the vote, whether free or fair or by foul means.
Charles, that was before. That was before.
That was before. Are you trying to say that in this particular
dispensation, the mitigation measures that have been introduced by INEC will make it virtually impossible?
Could you shed some light on some of those mitigation measures you are talking about?
They're very simple. One, the card reader has to authenticate.
But we're not questioning that. We're talking about collation now. We're not talking about the voting. Everybody has agreed that by and large the collations are credible. We've all agreed. So don't take us back.
No, okay, let me just get something clear, right? If this is polling booth A, right, my understanding is that once we are done, right, the results of the party of the respective parties will be announced. I will sign off for my own party, you will sign off for your own party, and she will sign off for her own party. Are we saying that by the time we are done with this signing, a politician in today's Nigeria will go and come up or duplicate another sheet that will go to the ward, from the ward to the local government?
They are saying they are getting information that is...
It's watertight.
Let me give you an example.
It's watertight.
Where I voted, for example...
It's watertight.
Where I voted, for example, apart from the 2 leading parties, the APC, the PDP, there were votes for the COA party. And perhaps they themselves didn't realize that they were going to get votes. So there was no party agent there. Therefore, when the result sheet was signed, the section with the COA party votes, there was no COA party agents to sign off on that. And what that means is that actually it doesn't invalidate the results
Correct.
of that election
Yes.
sheet. And INEC has made it clear that even if you bring them an election sheet that does not have a single signature from any party agent, it does not make the elections invalid. So this question of, oh, because people are signing, is neither here nor there.